Till now, we have seen that to achieve the socio-economic and cultural goals of the United Nations has come up with various independent and specialized agencies. In this lesson, we start looking at the World Health Organization, commonly known as WHO. Now, the WHO is a specialized agency of the United Nations, and it serves as the directing and coordinating authority for international health affairs and general public health. Now, WHO was established on 7th April 1948 when 26 members of the United Nations ratified its constitution. The constitution we're talking over here is the constitution of the WHO. Since WHO is a specialized agency and has an independent structure, it definitely also has an independent constitution which was ratified initially by 26 member nations of the United Nations, which led to its formation. Now, to commemorate the formation of the WHO and to also celebrate the impact that it has created, World Health Day is celebrated each year on the 7th of April. Can you answer this question? When is World Health Day celebrated every year? Is it on 7th of April, 7th of May, 7th of August, or 7th of September? The correct answer is 7th of April. Now, WHO is headquartered at Geneva, which is in Switzerland. Over here you can see a picture of the WHO headquarters. Now, let us look at the structure of the WHO, or how does the WHO function. The WHO has 194 members who all sit together in the World Health Assembly. Think of this like a parliament, but for the purpose of health affairs. The representatives of these members are actually people who are health professionals or have experience in public health. Now, these members all sit together in the World Health Assembly, and this assembly is presided upon by a Director General. A Director General represents the Secretariat. Now, which Secretariat is this? Not the United Nations Secretariat, but the Secretariat of its own, the WHO Secretariat, again because WHO is a specialized agency and therefore has its own structure and its own constitution and secretariat. Over here you can see a glimpse of the World Health Assembly. Now, let us address the question, what led to the creation of WHO? Before we answer this, I want to ask you, do you know what the Great Bubonic Plague was? In the 14th century, it was also known as the Black Death. That caused the deaths of an estimated 50 million people, of which half of them were from Africa and Asia, and the other half were from Europe. In fact, the bubonic plague reduced the population of Europe by a quarter. Now, humanity has a history of encountering such deadly plagues and diseases. In the 1840s, the world had to face a plague of cholera, and in the 1920s, there was an outbreak of Spanish influenza. Therefore, we understand that many times in history, countries or even kingdoms back then had to come together to eradicate and to rid the world of these plagues and diseases, because such plagues do not understand what borders are. Now let's jump to the post-war period. The UN member states were anticipating the breakout of another epidemic on the scale of the Spanish influenza. Now, we mentioned that the Spanish influenza broke out in the 1920s, but what you do not know is that it broke out immediately after the First World War. But when the Second World War came to an end, these UN member states were now anticipating that such an epidemic can again break out. This is because when a war or conflict breaks out, basic hygiene is neglected, and in such situations, diseases thrive. That is why the world powers now thought that they needed an effective organization which could deal with such diseases. Now, were there some existing organizations at this time? Now, at this point of time, there were some existing bodies of health coordination. The most prominent one of them being the International Office of Public Hygiene, which was the Health Affairs Office of the erstwhile League of Nations. But quite like the League of Nations, this particular International Office of Public Hygiene was also ineffective. In fact, it was also not able to deal with the outbreak of the Spanish influenza which took place after the First World War. Therefore, because these existing bodies were defunct, the United Nations felt that it needs a proper replacement. And with that realization in mind, the United Nations created the World Health Organization on 7th April 1948 as a specialized agency of the United Nations. It was tasked to cater to the international health requirements and to also be the coordinating and directing agency to meet such requirements. Now, with this objective in mind, WHO aims for the attainment of the highest possible level of health by all the people of the world. How does the World Health Organization achieve its aim? Well, primarily, it assists the governments of various nations in raising the standards of public health and to also spread awareness regarding recent medical developments such as current medical research. Over here you can see a glimpse of a partnership between the Philippines Health Department and WHO, which shows how WHO assists the governments of various nations, as mentioned, to raise the standards of public health and to also spread awareness regarding the same. WHO also has many of its own health programs, which aims to provide clean drinking water, nutritional facilities, and better sanitation, among various other such objectives. Over here you can see clean drinking water being provided by WHO in a developing country, and over here you can see some work of sanitation being carried out by WHO workers. WHO simply does not have empty aims. In fact, a look at its achievements itself will tell us that WHO tries to work on its various objectives. WHO was in fact successful in eradicating smallpox in the year 1977 and had also managed to eradicate polio in 99% countries around the world. Now, this WHO has done by widespread immunization or preventing diseases through vaccination. Now, this is a glimpse of the magazine of the World Health Organization. It is a May 1980 issue where it declares that smallpox is dead, and it's a world news because it is creative, and this was facilitated by the WHO itself, and it is done through widespread immunization. In fact, the magazine of the World Health Organization is a very effective tool for WHO to spread awareness, which itself is a success because it has a very wide readership base. So in this lesson, we saw the structure, the formation, and also the various aims and the achievements of the WHO. Now, to see how WHO has achieved so much, we have to look at the various functions of this organization, which we will be looking at in the subsequent lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers, or to get access to all our 5,000 plus amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So register for free now.